Are you terrified to imagine a world where the Nazis won World War II? The very thought sends shivers down the spine, conjuring images of a world steeped in darkness and oppression. The horrors of such a reality are almost too much to bear, yet it is a scenario that has fascinated and horrified historians and writers alike for decades. Welcome to 1965, a dark alternate history. In this grim reality, the world as we know it has been twisted and reshaped by the iron fist of the Third Reich. The streets are shrouded in an eerie silence, the air thick with the weight of fear and oppression. The once bustling cities now stand as somber reminders of a world that could have been. The Axis powers emerged victorious after a drawn-out and brutal campaign. The battles were fierce, the losses immense, and the consequences devastating. The world watched in horror as the forces of tyranny triumphed over the defenders of freedom. The aftermath of this victory was a world plunged into darkness where the ideals of liberty and justice were crushed under the boot of authoritarian rule. Europe lies under the iron grip of the Third Reich. The continent, once a tapestry of diverse cultures and vibrant histories, has been transformed into a monolithic empire of oppression. The swastika flies over ancient landmarks, a stark reminder of the New World Order. The map of Europe is now a chilling testament to the reach and power of the Nazi regime. A vast authoritarian empire has reshaped the continent, erasing cultural diversity and silencing all opposition. The streets are filled with the sounds of marching boots and the chants of propaganda. Any form of dissent is swiftly and brutally crushed, leaving the populace in a state of perpetual fear. The once free nations of Europe are now mere shadows of their former selves, their identities erased by the relentless march of tyranny. Daily life is a tapestry of tension and fear. The people move through their days with a sense of dread, always looking over their shoulders, always wary of the watchful eyes of the state. The atmosphere is thick with anxiety, the weight of oppression pressing down on every aspect of life. The simple joys and freedoms that once defined daily existence are now distant memories, replaced by a constant struggle for survival. Massive surveillance systems keep a watchful eye on every citizen. The state's reach is all-encompassing, with cameras on every corner and informants lurking in every shadow. Privacy is a luxury of the past, and every action, every word is monitored and scrutinized. The fear of being watched is a constant companion, a reminder that in this world there is no escape from the gaze of the regime. Even the smallest acts of defiance can lead to severe repercussions. The punishment for dissent is swift and merciless, designed to instill fear and maintain control. Public executions and brutal crackdowns are common, serving as grim reminders of the consequences of resistance. The people live in a state of constant terror, knowing that any misstep could lead to their downfall. Public spaces are dominated by posters of Nazi leaders, celebrating their twisted Aryan ideals. The propaganda is pervasive, infiltrating every aspect of life. The walls are plastered with images of the Führer, the airwaves filled with his speeches. The message is clear. There is no room for individuality, no place for dissent. The regime's vision of a pure Aryan society is enforced with an iron fist, leaving no room for deviation. Individual expression is a distant memory. The people move through their lives like automatons, their spirits crushed by the relentless oppression. The vibrant cultures and unique identities that once defined the continent have been replaced by a uniform, monochromatic existence. The arts, once a reflection of the human spirit, are now tools of the state, stripped of creativity and forced to conform to a rigid, state-approved narrative. Art, music and literature have been stripped of creativity, forced to conform to a rigid, state-approved narrative. The once vibrant cultural scene is now a barren wasteland, devoid of innovation and expression. The state controls every aspect of artistic production, ensuring that only works that align with the regime's ideology are allowed to exist. The creative spirit has been stifled, replaced by a monotonous, oppressive regime. The once vibrant cultures of Europe have been replaced by a monotonous, oppressive regime. The museums and cultural centres that once celebrated the diversity and richness of European history now stand empty and desolate. The people, once proud of their unique identities, are now mere cogs in the machine of the state. The vibrant tapestry of European culture has been replaced by a uniform, oppressive existence. Meanwhile, the United States remains an isolated power. The land of the free, once a beacon of hope and liberty, now stands alone, watching the horrors unfold across the ocean. The decision to stay out of the war has left the nation in a state of uneasy isolation, its people torn between the desire to help and the fear of becoming the next target of the Nazi regime. It never entered the war in full force and now watches with growing unease. The American military, once a symbol of strength and freedom, now stands on high alert, ready to defend the homeland from the encroaching threat. The citizens, too, are gripped by fear and uncertainty, their once unshakable belief in their nation's invincibility now replaced by a gnawing sense of vulnerability. German propaganda seeps through the airwaves, painting a deceptive picture of an ideal world. The Nazi regime's reach extends even across the ocean, infiltrating American media with its insidious messages. The people are bombarded with images of a supposed utopia, a world where the Aryan race reigns supreme, but beneath the surface the truth is far more sinister, a reality of oppression and fear masked by a veneer of propaganda. This is 1965 under Nazi rule, a world where freedom is a distant memory and fear reigns supreme. The cities, once vibrant and full of life, are now dark and oppressive, controlled by the iron fist of the regime. The people, once free to express themselves and pursue their dreams, are now mere shadows of their former selves, living in constant fear of the state. A dystopian reality where fear reigns supreme and freedom is an illusion. Imagine it. The streets are patrolled by soldiers, their presence a constant reminder of the regime's power. The people move through their days in a state of perpetual fear, their every action monitored and controlled. The once vibrant cultures and identities that defined the continent have been erased, replaced by a uniform, oppressive existence. But be grateful it's only a dark, alternate history. The world we live in, despite its flaws and challenges, is a far cry from the nightmare of Nazi rule. The freedoms we enjoy, the diversity we celebrate, are precious gifts that we must never take for granted. This dark alternate history serves as a stark reminder of the horrors that could have been and the importance of standing up for the values of freedom and justice.